Hello, friends. How we doing? First off, I gotta say a big thank you to all the guys that gave me some dope advice in the comments of my last video. I appreciate you guys. Sometimes I just be yapping and rambling in videos, but you guys actually took my comments seriously and gave some very dope advice. So stay consistent, and that's what I shall do. I appreciate you guys for that. Today we're gonna be doing a video, as always, a very fun video, just a reaction to Reddit stuff. You know what I mean? It's UFC 299. There's probably going to be some fun stuff, some fun videos and news to react to. So let's just have a look at what Reddit has to offer today. First video is Francis Ngannou. Wait, don't scroll too much down. Okay, Francis Ngannou. What is this? I think this is the press conference with Joshua. So I think he got into a little bit of a skerfuffle. Who knows that word, skerfuffle? Whoever said this at an NBA press conference, that was funny as fuck. Somebody said the word skerfuffle. I don't remember what NBA player, but that was a funny moment. Very funny moment. So I think this is Joshua versus Ngannou, the press conference, and Ngannou got at it with Fury. So let's have a look.
Your only chance is in the ring, in the boxing ring with the boxing rules. When you step off of that ring, you better stay 5 meters away before I start your shit. Because if I lose it, you're going to have a really bad time, my friend. So
Fury said, yeah, no problem. Anytime. No, that's not true. It's not anytime or no problem. You wouldn't want to fight Francis Ngannou outside of a boxing ring. Are you crazy? This is what I don't understand with like these MMA fighters versus boxer beef, because realistically speaking, even the boxer knows if something goes down in a street fight, you don't want to fight the MMA fighter. He's going to whoop you. That's just the reality. Like Mayweather versus McGregor, it felt weird because it was not realistic. Whenever it was like outside the boxing ring, you can't like actually fight. You can't actually fight me outside of a boxing square. So I think as a boxer, you have to be authentic, at least respect that. Like, all right, outside the boxing ring, you'd probably whoop my ass. Realistically, you would break my arm. You'd probably kick the shit out of my leg. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be authentic. It's difficult for their ego to accept that, but it's the truth. And at least you can say, yeah, you could probably whoop me outside, but in the boxing ring, I'm the king of that shit. You know what I mean? You could have that sort of dynamic, and I feel fans would respect you more for doing that. Like Fury, you cannot fight Ngannou outside the boxing ring. That's just the truth. You have to admit that. But that's the thing with like the whole beef with the MMA guys and boxers. You got to be real. You would get whooped outside of the boxing ring.
respect the fact that boxing is protecting us, and the rules of boxing is protecting us. Because out of that, without that, you are nothing in front of me. I beat you every day, twice on Sunday.
That's true. I mean, bro, he almost beat him in his own game. What do you think would happen in MMA? That would be very bad. This shit had me dying. What is this? Probably from the embedded.
Where it says like,
Ready to get knocked out? Yeah?
Come suck my.
Come suck my. That's weird.
Oh my god.
I asked him to suck my.
This beef gotta be the most fabricated beef I've ever seen. I know most beef in UFC are fabricated, but these two guys just cannot seem genuine at all with anything they do. It seems forced, and I don't blame them, right? They want to promote pay-per-views and stuff like that, so it is what it is, but it feels like everything is just like, I have to do this. I have to talk shit to you, so I'm going to say something, but nothing's witty. Nothing's like, that's interesting. It's ready to get knocked out. Come suck my dick. What is this? Hey, Ngannou, calm down. We're done with you. But yeah, this whole O'Malley, look, this is gonna be a fun fight, but gotta relax with this whole trash talk. I feel if I was a UFC fighter, you know what I'd do? If I have nothing to say, I'm not saying shit. I'm not forcing it. I'm just not forcing it. I can't do that. I'll say some shit if I have some shit to say. I guess that's the mentality I have here. Dustin hints retirement. I can't do this forever. I have a family to be there for. Every time I get in the octagon, a piece of me is going to leave that I can never get back. A bit of a reach in my opinion, because look, it's the sport of MMA. It's just the truth. Whether you're 35 or 25, every time you step into an MMA octagon and MMA fight, anything can happen. Not just physically, but mentally. Every fight could be your last fight. So that's just the truth. I think even Dustin said after the second Conor fight, he said, I don't enjoy this anymore. And people ran away with it as well, like he's going to retire and stuff. But it's just the sport of MMA, right? You kind of hate it sometimes, you love it some other times. And I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's a hint at retirement, whereas it's just being realistic with your career. 35, you're coming into a fight with a young guy, a young phenom, a young hungry guy. Yeah, it could be my last. Is it? Probably not, but it could. Yes, it's always a possibility. Happy birthday to Anthony Rumble Johnson. So that was his birthday today. You know what the UFC could do, like, you know, for legends like him that passed away or just maybe retired or something? It would be nice for them to like post fights like on a certain guy's birthday. Maybe it would be too much. I don't know, but that would be fun. I didn't even know it was his birthday. So happy birthday to Rumble Johnson, a monster in the UFC and in MMA in general. RIP to him as well. 3 years ago today, Izzy lost for the first time as an MMA pro. Yeah. This is such a hating post. It's like, remember when this one time when Izzy lost? He challenged himself, you know what I mean? Wasn't the best performance, but he dared to be great, as he said. Kind of corny, whatever. Conor had this to say about Sean. Your thoughts about Sean Strickland? I like him. Decent fighter, outspoken, bit of a mad thing. Loves a knock. UFC champion. He a good fella in my book. I guess that's a W. I guess that's a compliment. I'll take that. I'll take that as a compliment. 1,463 significant strikes absorbed. 0 numbers of times knocked down. That's very impressive. You know, I picked Chito Vera as the most titanium chin, the most unbreakable chin in the UFC when I did a video for the fighting business called I Built the Perfect MMA Fighter. So I would pick, you know, the best fighter for each category. And for the greatest chin, I picked Marlon Vera. People were actually angry. I think it was the category where the most people were angry at me for. They were like, it should have been Max Holloway. Some people were saying they should have been Marvin Vettori. And I understand. You know what I mean? Max Holloway has a titanium chin. Marvin Vettori too. But to me, what differentiate Marlon Vera is like he almost has that Khabib Nurmagomedov aura to him. And he's fought more than Khabib. Whereas he doesn't like show damage, which is a plus to the fact that he doesn't get knocked down and that his chin is so great. Because you look at, you know, Max Holloway, he's never been knocked down. Granted, maybe that one time against Dustin Poirier. But, you know, we'll just say he hasn't. But he's shown damage. You know, talking about that Poirier fight, he looked like he was battered. That Volkanovski fight, he looked like he was battered at the end. He looked destroyed. That Yair fight, also, he looked destroyed. So, obviously, it's the human body. I'm not going to say something, it's not bad, but it's just the difference between Marlon Vera and Max Holloway to me is they're both guys that have showed tremendous titanium chin. But on top of it, Marlon Vera doesn't even show damage. He's been in wars with Corey Sandhagen. Got whooped for 5 rounds against Corey. I wouldn't even call it a war, to be honest. I think Corey whooped him. And Corey showed more damage at the end of the fight than Marlon. So it was that crazy to see it. I mean, look, I could pull off his shirt off. He's been in some big fights. Jose Aldo, obviously Sean O'Malley at first. He fought Song Yadong as well. Frankie Edgar, Rob Font. That's another one. Rob Font. Like, Rob Font was piecing him up. If you go look back that fight, Rob Font was actually piecing him up. Probably landed more strikes than Marlon Vera in total throughout that fight. And Marlon just didn't show any signs of damage. And Rob Font looked absolutely destroyed. So I feel like that's an added part of the fact that he has a titanium chin. Not only he doesn't get knocked down, but he doesn't show damage. And that's why I picked him. I thought, you know, that made the difference. But granted, Holloway's one of the best as well. One of the greatest chin. It's gonna be fun to see him against Gaethje, to be honest. The greatest UFC fighter not to win an undisputed UFC title. I feel Poirier and Gaethje should be higher up. They've been at the top for so long. Both won interim gold. And they had ups and downs and stayed at the top. You know what I mean? Tony Ferguson was at the top for a long time, but he didn't go through a down and then went back up. Whereas Gaethje, they lost to the title. They lost for the title and then got back up and got a second shot and then lost again and then got a second shot. So it's like you have to respect these guys for just like losing but also staying back in there. Their longevity is very impressive. Conor on next fight and dates. Bro, I'm tired of seeing Conor updates. We don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm not going to put everybody in the same boat. He hasn't been fighting for so long. He's been saying shit for so... I don't care. Still holding hope for June 29th. Lack of action on it, however, is now causing lack of enthusiasm. I need a decision soon. I'm the most tested athlete under this new regime, yet no date to fight. The game is a bit lackluster, also at present, which isn't helping. I hope these next few cards pop and I get a date, eliminate distractions, and begin real work towards it. Let's be real. This is the guy to watch out for this Saturday. Is that the Cuban guy that was like knocking everybody out in 8 seconds? Is he on the prelim? I didn't even know that. I'll have a look. He's fighting this weekend. I didn't even know. Early prelims, maybe? At heavyweight, is that Rebelis Desbane? Is that him? Rebelis Desbane. Yeah, that's him. Robelis. Okay, I'm pulling him up right now. Let you guys see. That's him. Yeah, he's been viral.
Lena. Of course. There's no doubt. Oh my!
Lena.
Of course. There's no doubt. Oh my! The right shot lands, and now Malumba in a desperate attempt to cover up.
I mean, we didn't see anything there, but I mean, yeah, hopefully he's good. We'll see. I heard he was like 6'8", though. I think that's the most impressive part. He's been knocking everybody out very fast, so we'll see how good he is. Hell no. Sean praying for dear life Chito doesn't pull out. That's so true. Marab's as the backup. Sean is praying, bro. Praying that Chito doesn't pull out. That's fucking wild. Because Marab would actually snatch that shit right this weekend. I swear to God he would. You know what would be crazy, though? Is like the fact that if Marab like comes in and fights Sean, let's say Chito pulls out or whatever, and he comes in on like 2-day notice or 1-day notice, whatever, Chito misses weight, he comes in. I think he would still be a betting favorite. 1 day notice, Marab would be a favorite over Sean O'Malley probably. That's how like dominant he's been, Marab. And also the stylistic matchup favors Marab so much, you know what I mean? But I mean, we said the same thing about Aljamain, so maybe I'm just talking shit, but I think he would probably be a favorite, and it would be very impressive to see because he'd be coming off of like a 1-day notice. So, yeah. Diamond, only man to KO McGregor, only man to submit Chandler, and only man to finish Holloway. That's impressive. That's very impressive. That was Holloway like back in the day. But it was an impressive resume. I mean, Poirier is one of my favorite fighters, man. He's just so good, and I don't know why people hate him so much. I really don't know. UFC embedded other fighters. Sean O'Malley. He has to take a fucking gazillion years to do his ugly hair. No, I don't mean to hate it. It's just not very good looking, unfortunately. Yo, that looks like Andre Philly right here. Kinda. We're not gonna watch this. This is gonna get blocked, so let's have a... Oh, who could stop Norma Dumont? She's 4-0. Nobody. Yeah, this is gonna get copyrighted. Honest opinion on Brian Ortega. He's a dog, and that's what makes him good. Yeah, that's what makes him good. He's not really the best MMA fighter in the world, but he's a dog. He has that heart, and so many guys that start fighting just doesn't have that. You know, Sean Strickland said it best. The first thing that makes you a great fighter is just don't be a pussy. And Brian Ortega is not a pussy. He's not afraid to be in a dog fight, and just that mentality gives him an edge over guys like Yair Rodriguez. So anyways, that is, I guess, the reaction video to this Reddit. Hopefully you had fun watching these news and the stuff we went over in this video. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out, boys.